with you. Wow, wow, wow. I've been busy baking today, preparing for today's event, and I want to show you what I've done for you this morning. So just for you to see some samples of the beautiful Rugelach we'll be baking today. I have 1, 2, and I also made an amazing Rugelach cake, which I'm going to show you how to make as well. So I have 2 baking sheets of Rugelach here and an amazingly simple and cool shaping of Rugelach, which looks like a rose. So I call these Roselachs, and I'll teach you how to make these too. I also have already prepared for all of you the dough. Okay, you did not have to make the dough because I'm going to guide you step by step in making the dough, but I just wanted to show you what it looks like after it has risen and before we're going to shape it. So I want to really thank Alison O'Mara for all that she does and for always taking me on these events, and I just appreciate you so much and everybody that's involved and in charge of today's event. Yes, I have an amazing blog which is called lalouchebyiris.com, where you'll find amazing recipes. Take advantage and go on it. You also find recipes and information about what I do, about my catering, and about my amazingly beautiful and delicious cakes for all occasions, for these little young birthday parties and bar mitzvahs. So you can go on Facebook, Iris Tahoa, or on Instagram, and you can find all of that information. So let's begin. Before we're going to be making anything, we're going to check that we have all of the ingredients. And all of you event chairs and Allison have worked so hard in measuring and preparing all of the ingredients for you. So let's go through what we have here, what you got in your bags, okay? And everybody can hold their recipe card. So you have 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour, and it's labeled flour, right? And then you have 1 tablespoon of yeast. The tablespoon of yeast are in these little pouches, the Red Star yeast. Then you have 1/2 cup of sugar. Now you have 2 containers of sugars. One is labeled 1/2 cup, and one is labeled 1 cup. We're not going to be using the 1 cup right now, only the 1/2 cup. Next, we're going to be using 2 eggs. So everybody, I'm sure you've got your 2 eggs out, okay? And then we need 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And if you don't have vanilla, or it's spilled, or you don't have it, it's not a big deal. It's okay. And then just 1/4 teaspoon of salt. We need 1/3 cup of oil and 3/4 cup of water. Okay? These are all the ingredients to make the dough. Then, for the chocolate filling, the Jewish Federation have been amazing. They've already made and bought you, sorry, not made, but bought you a prepared filling, which is absolutely delicious. So you can use that. It is 1 cup of cocoa powder, 1 packet of vanilla instant pudding. Then the ingredients for the sugar syrup are 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of water, and if you guys have lemon at home, we'll need 1/2 cup, 1/2 lemon, and I'll show you what to do with it. Okay, can everybody hear me? Jill? They can hear me? Okay, great. Okay, so now we're going to be preparing the dough, and like I said, I'm going to guide you step by step. We're going to be doing this together. There are two ways in making the dough. One way that's so easy is just to put all of the ingredients together, either in your mixer bowl or in a bowl that you can mix by hand. So if you don't have a mixer, that's perfectly fine to mix it by hand. And another way to do it, which I want to teach you today, and it's also very, very, very easy, and it just makes sure that we're starting to activate the yeast. We're going to be doing the following: putting the yeast, 1 tablespoon from the half-cup sugar, and the water in your bowl. We're going to mix it and then add all of the ingredients on top of it, okay? So let's do it together. Everybody, open up your packet of yeast and put it into your bowl or your mixer bowl, okay? Everybody together. Here it is. Here is the yeast going into my mixer bowl. I'm taking a spoon of sugar from the half cup, okay? From the half cup, here is 1 spoon, okay? And then I'm going to be taking 3/4 of a cup of water. Here is 1 cup, and all the kids can help me count. 1, 2, and 3/4 of a cup going in. Wonderful. Now I'm taking my spoon and I am mixing, mixing, mixing. I'm going to be dissolving the yeast and having it start to activate, which will also reduce the time for it to rise. That's great. Okay. And now we're ready to put all of the rest of the ingredients, okay? First, I'm going to put in my flour. First, my flour is going to go in. And remember, it's all been measured for us. Thank you to Allison and the team. All the flour goes in. Now the rest of the 1/2 cup of sugar goes in. Perfect. Now we're going to put the vanilla extract. And if you don't have it, it's fine. The salt. The oil. How easy is that everything's being measured out for us? Oil goes in. Perfect. Now I'm going to break the eggs, and I'm going to do it one at a time in a little glass dish to make sure that the eggs are kosher, so that there are no blood spots in the egg. Okay, I'm checking the egg. It's perfectly fine. The first egg goes in. And here is the other egg. Let me check it. Perfectly fine. That goes in as well. Now, if you want to enhance the flavor, you can use some lemon zest or orange zest. And I have a lemon here. I'm just going to give it a little bit of lemon zest. You do not have to, it's not a must. I'm just showing you how you can really enhance the flavor and kind of be creative with your rugelach here. Okay. So now I've put all of my ingredients in my mixer bowl and I'm going to repeat what I've put inside, okay? We have 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour, check. 1 tablespoon of dry yeast, check. 1/2 cup of sugar, check. 2 eggs, check. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, check. 3/4 cup of water, check. 1/3 cup of oil, check. And 1/4 teaspoon of salt, check. Everybody's done that? Oh, I see some thumbs up. Good job, good job. I like those thumbs up. Excellent. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach my dough hook. Now, if you're not using your mixer, just roll up your sleeves and start kneading your dough. But if you're using a mixer like I am, attach the dough hook. Look at it, at the dough hook. Look at it. This is what it looks like. Okay? This is what it looks like. Great. I'm attaching it. And I'm going to start my mixer on low, on speed 2. Okay? So everybody, speed 2. Now, it is very, very, very important, and I'm putting a timer, okay, that we are going to knead the dough for 10 minutes. Here's my timer going on for 10 minutes. The reason for that is we want to develop the gluten in the dough. We want to make sure that we have soft dough that is going to rise and expand and not tear, okay? And by kneading it for 10 minutes, it allows it to have this elasticity that we want from the dough. So if you look into your mixer bowl, you're going to see how the dough is starting to come together. Thumbs up if it's starting to come together. Excellent. Okay, now I'm going to increase the speed to 4. Increase the speed to 4. Now, your dough is going to be sticky. That's perfectly fine, okay? We want the dough to be sticky. We're not making challah, we're making rugelach. We want it to be soft. If you guys have any questions, just put them in the chat, and Allison over here is going to ask them, and I will answer those questions. I'm increasing the speed to number 6. Oh yes, I see so many thumbs up. Good job, and dancing. Are you guys dancing there? Way to go. You're probably excited to have rugelach, right? Look at what is waiting for you. Look at this delicious yum that you're going to be making. Yum, 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 yum. Remember, your dough is going to be sticky, and that's fine. Any questions? No questions, okay. The dough is really coming together nicely. I want to show you. And you see it is sticky and soft, and that's fine. I'm going to show you how this dough will come together. And look at how it's rising. Gorgeous. Good job, you guys. Wow, how many families? So many. Okay, I'm going to stop my mixer so that we can go on to the next step, but not before I show you what to do with the dough, okay? I'm going to have a look over here, everybody. This is important for you to see. I'm going to flour my surface over here, and I'm going to take out the dough from my mixer, and I know it hasn't been 10 minutes. You will continue the 10 minutes, but I need to go on to the next step. So look, I'm taking out my dough, my sticky dough, right? Everybody's dough is sticky. I'm going to take it out onto my floured surface. Okay. Here you go. That's all of my dough. And I'm just going to kind of coat it in the flour that I had on my surface. That's it. And now it's not sticky anymore. You see, now it's not sticky. And now I'm taking my bowl that I have. Okay, I'm going to put about a teaspoon of oil, just about a teaspoon of oil. You see, a teaspoon of oil. I'm going to rub it around my bowl so that the dough doesn't stick. And I'm going to lift my dough. Look how beautiful. It's not sticky anymore. Can you see? Not sticky. I'm placing it in my bowl, and I'm going to cover it with plastic wrap and allow it to rise for half an hour and up to even 2 hours, okay? And you can do this the night before you want to bake and let it rise in the refrigerator, okay? So this is the first step, everybody. When we meet again, I'm going to show you how to shape the Rugelach. Now let's turn our attention to our event chair, Jennifer and Sarah. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Freeman. Thank you for joining us today. When I was asked to co-chair this event, I began to reflect on the importance of baking at certain points in my life. As a child, I have flashes of baking mandel bread with my grandmother and helping my mother cook holiday meals. My mom wasn't much of a baker, but at a young age, I learned how to make matzo balls, amazing kugel, and a holiday chicken to die for. Throughout my single life, I hosted many friends and family for holiday celebrations and always made a point to include things that I learned from my family, even if I tweaked them a little and added my own special touch. I got married on the older side and had my children in my 40s. It wasn't until I had them that I truly appreciated the role a Jewish mother plays in passing down tradition and how important it is to bake with family. There is something about mixing, stirring, kneading, and putting love into every bite that I just didn't understand. Even the days my kids want to use pre-made cookie dough become something fun and special. Last year, I had the pleasure of attending the Jewish Federation's Babka Bake at the Chabad of Parkland, something I had never done before and something I found truly special. I loved laughing with friends and trying not to be completely bad at it, and learning the art of Jewish baking in a room with hundreds of women. I came home to finish up and bake with my children. My 4-year-old son was the most intrigued by the baking process and watching through the glass. My daughter, who is 5, asked me if we could start from the beginning one time together. Fast forward to now, and the excitement of hosting and sharing with all of you our North Broward family Rugelach, and the opportunity to do this event, baking with them in my own home. I would love to be in a room filled with all of you. This is extremely special, and I couldn't be happier to be here, online, with all of you, creating new memories and learning a new treat. And now to you, Sarah.
Hi, my name is Sarah Cohen Berlin, and I moved to Parkland in January of 2020 with my husband, Justin, and my now 2-year-old daughter, Melanie. Justin grew up right here in North Broward and attended Douglas. I grew up down the road in Cooper City. Since before I can remember, the Broward Jewish community has been a part of my life. Daycare at Temple Sinai in Hollywood, preschool at the J, and I'm sure you guessed by now, I was a JCC camper. Yeah, I was that kid. It felt like we were the first family of Temple Beth Am, where we spent Friday evenings celebrating Shabbat, Hebrew school was mandatory, and of course, high holidays. We attended every temple in JCC, so, and my 3 siblings and I were all bar and bar mitzvahed at Temple Beth Am. So needless to say, I have always felt a part of and at home within the Broward Jewish community. During those formative years, and even through today, I follow the lead of my amazing dad, Bernard Cohen. Instead of just taking advantage of what the community had to offer, he was growing it like a master gardener. Not only did he make sure that we attended Hebrew school and know all of our Jewish holidays and traditions, he was a member of the temple and a member of the board at the JCC, helping to ensure that there was a Jewish community for my siblings and I and all of our friends to take advantage of. Growing up, it seemed like he knew everyone in the community and was always attending this Jewish meeting or that Jewish meeting and always donating or giving back where he could. It wasn't until recently, after moving back to South Florida and after college and law school, meeting and marrying my husband and starting our family, did I realize this most important thing, that the reason my siblings and I and all of our friends had a Jewish community to grow up in and take advantage of was because of my dad and people like him, striving to make our community a loving, welcoming, and nurturing one. Before the pandemic, my daughter started crawling in my footsteps in the Jewish community by attending the same daycare I first attended at Temple Sinai. Having a vibrant Jewish community for my daughter to grow up in means everything to me. Today, I walk in my dad's footsteps and have found a home within the Jewish Federation of Broward County, where I devote my time and money. Like my dad, I too will be a master gardener for our Jewish Broward, for my daughter, for my family, and for our incredible Jewish community. And now back to Iris in the kitchen.
Hi, everybody. Hi again. Hi again. We were rushed a little bit, but let me go back and make sure that you've done the first step right. So the dough was sticky, right? And I put it onto my floured surface. I kind of covered it with some flour and then put it in a greased bowl. Somebody had a question about the oil. What was the question, Allison?
What to do with it? Should you grease the bowl with it?
Well, the oil needed to go in the dough, and you needed just an extra 1 tablespoon of oil to grease your bowl. Okay? So the oil needed to go into your dough. Now my dough is going to rest, but like in every cooking show, I have already prepared ahead of time dough. Look at that. Look at how it rose. It's absolutely gigantic. Look at that. Amazing. And I'm going to uncover it right now. Look at that. So you can see. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And before I will teach you how to shape your Rugelach, we have to make the syrup, the sugar syrup. And I want you to look to see what it looks like. It just looks like a clear sugar syrup. It's not very runny, but it's not caramel. That's very important. It needs to be not runny, but not too caramel, too thick, because then you won't be able to apply it over the Rugelach. So what you do is, when the Rugelach comes out of the oven, when it's baked, you're going to take a pastry brush and brush the Rugelach. What this does, it kind of locks in moisture in the Rugelach and gives it this beautiful shine. Can you see the shine? They're so shiny, these beautiful Rugelachs. So that's what the sugar syrup is for. So how do we make the sugar syrup? You have been given a container that says 1 cup of sugar. You take a little pot, just a little pot or a skillet, and you're going to be putting the 1 cup of sugar in, and then 1 cup of water. 1 cup of water goes in. And if you have a lemon at home, I highly recommend you put the juice of half a lemon in. It is just going to make sure that your syrup is not going to turn into candy, you know, that it's not going to burn. Okay, so half a lemon goes in. And now I'm going to put it over the stove and bring it to a boil. I am going to be cooking this for 10 minutes on medium heat. Okay, everybody? Medium heat. You have to dissolve the sugar and reduce the water in here to make this turn into a syrup. So put a timer on for 10 minutes, and this is now going into cooking. I'm going to put my timer, and it's on medium, okay? Next, now I'm going into shaping the Rugelach. Is everybody ready? Let's go. I'm going to dust my surface here, your kitchen counter, any surface that you're working on. Okay, and I'm going to turn my bowl over and look at the gluten. Look at that. Look at the gluten web that was developed here. Beautiful. Great. Okay. And I'm going to be using my dough cutter here. Okay. And divide my dough into 4 equal parts. 4 equal parts. Take each part and shape into a ball. Okay, just like that. And put it aside. Okay, that's one. Here is another one. I'm going to be shaping it into a ball. Perfect. And put it to the side. And the third one. Perfect. And my fourth piece I'm going to be working on right now. So my 3 other bowls, I'm going to take a kitchen cloth. Here I have a kitchen cloth and I'm just going to cover it. The reason why I'm doing that is because I do not want the dough to dry and kind of develop a crust. Okay, we want to keep the dough moist. Now, I'm taking my rolling pin and I have this amazing rolling pin. It's made of marble. You can find it on, in my blog, there is a link to get this marble rolling pin. It's really amazing. You don't need to use any force to roll out your dough. Okay, so now I'm going to roll out my dough. My goal is to shape it into a square as thin as I can possibly roll it out to. A square or even a rectangle, that's good too. Okay, and you keep lifting it and turning it, which makes it easier to stick on onto your surface. Now you want it to be thin, but not paper thin. And I'm reminding you that if you have questions, Allison is right here with me. She'll read the question and I'll answer it for you. Say hi, Allison.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, so here is my dough. I rolled it out to a square. Can everybody see? Thumbs up if everybody can see and understand what we're doing. Perfect, perfect. Okay, now what you're going to be needing is either a knife, a spatula, or an offset spatula. This is what an offset spatula looks like, okay?
They want to know if they should be waiting for the dough to rise more, or they do all that.
No, that's fine. You don't need to let the dough rise more. You're just going to let it rise more after we shape it. Instead of waiting half an hour, you'll wait more, okay? Perfect. So now I'm going to take with my offset spatula, I can't tell you exact how much, but you don't want to overdo it with the chocolate, but you want to spread a nice amount of chocolate, right? I mean, we do want to taste the chocolate in the Rugelach. So you're going to be spreading a thin layer, not too thin and not too thick. Thin layer of chocolate on your whole square of dough here. Perfect. And you see, it's easier to do this with an offset spatula. It's a great tool in the kitchen. Perfect. Thumbs up if you're on the same stage with me. I see that someone is still shaping the dough. That's great, but you're watching what I'm doing, so that's excellent. Okay, I'm gonna wait just 1 minute. Any questions? Great. Okay, so look at what the next step is. Have a look. I rolled out my dough, okay, as thin as I could into a square or a rectangle. Now I spread all of it with a thin layer of chocolate. Now, if you want to go more chocolatey, you can sprinkle those mini chocolate chips on top. Okay, then what you're going to do is you're going to lift your dough and close it. Close it in half. Do you see? Now I have dough on the outside, on the bottom, on the top, and inside I have the chocolate. Okay? And I can just stretch it a little. Look at how I'm stretching my dough. Okay? And I have a long piece of dough here that's got so much chocolate in. Perfect. Okay, now what I'm going to do is either take a knife or a pizza cutter. You have a pizza cutter at home? Use that. And I'm going to be cutting triangles. Okay, everybody look. Here is my first triangle. And the width of the triangle on the top there should be about 2 to 2.5 inches. Okay? 2 to 2.5 inches. Okay? I'm going to move that. Perfect. Okay. Here, cutting it into perfect. Are you guys taking pictures? Take pictures of the screen and send it to Allison or tag me on Instagram or Facebook. I would really appreciate that. Okay, and once you bake them, please, please, please tag me. Okay, now what I'm going to do, and that's a secret, that's like a kind of a French bakery secret. You're going to take your knife or your pizza cutter and you're going to cut just the top. Do you see this little bit on the top? On all of them, on the widest part. Okay, my kitchen timer is off and I'm going to check my sugar syrup. It's ready. I turned it off and it's going to be waiting for the Rugelach when they're ready. Perfect. So I'm going to continue. I'm cutting the top, making a kind of a slit. Okay. That's really a secret that I'm sharing with all of you. Perfect. And I'm going to take one triangle out of here so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Can you see? That's the triangle. Now from the widest part, I'm going to be turning it in. Now, why is this slit so important? So that it kind of opens up the sides here. Okay, and look, you're just rolling it very, very, very gently. And that's it. And your Rugelach is ready. Look. Okay, let's do one more. One more. And I'm taking it out of here. Look. Roll, 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 roll. One more. Look how pretty. Okay, you want that little, the end to be underneath. Because if it won't, in the baking, it will kind of open up. Okay, here's another one. Roll, 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 roll. One more. How easy is that? One more. Roll, 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 roll. Amazing. And the dough is so soft and so, fun to work with. Here. Roll, 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 roll. Beautiful. Now, I don't want to run out of time, but if you guys have any questions, please write them in the chat because we'll have a Q&A after as well. Look, I have the baking pan that the JCC provided you with. Federation. And you're going to be putting your Rugelach in on the parchment paper, just like that. Space them out. You don't want them to attach to one another, okay? And now this is going to, you're going to allow it to rise for half an hour to about even up to 2 hours, okay? From half an hour, minimum of half an hour and up to 2 hours, you're going to brush them, okay, with egg. Brush them with egg wash. And I want to show you, okay? You're going to brush them and bake them at a 360 degrees preheated oven. The oven has to preheat for about half an hour before you're baking your Rugelach. Sounds good, everybody? Thumbs up. Thumbs up if you have any questions. If you have any questions, write them in the chat.
Then everything is nut free.
Okay. Or the chocolate is nut free and the rest of the ingredients are nut free as well. Okay? I'm going to continue rolling. Here's one more. Roll, 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 roll. Beautiful. Okay.
They want to know how to make the egg wash.
Okay. The egg wash is all you do, and I'm going to show you. All you do, it's so simple. Give me a sec. Let me get another egg. All you do is basically break an egg into a small bowl, just like that. Take a fork, whisk it like that, and that's your egg wash. That's it. Okay? And use a pastry brush to brush it over the Rugelach. So that's what the egg wash is. I'm rolling another one. Roll, 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 roll. Now, I made this Rugelach cake. It's a kind of a cool way to serve Rugelach. And what you do is, it's a kind of a pull apart Rugelach. Each person just grabs one and you pull it apart, okay? So if you want to bake a Rugelach cake, all you do, you're going to arrange it in a baking pan like that, and you're going to bake it, okay? Now, I just have to talk about the baking again. You're going to shape your Rugelach, place them on a baking sheet with parchment paper, okay? You're going to egg wash it. You're going to bake it, these little Rugelachs, for 20 minutes in a preheated oven. Make sure you put your timer on. I highly recommend you have a kitchen timer. Bake it for 20 minutes, and as soon as it comes out of the oven, you're going to brush it with your sugar syrup, okay? The sugar syrup goes after the baking, not before the baking, okay? Everybody understands? If you have any questions, please write them in the chat, and there will be another Q&A after, and I'm right here to help you, guide you, and answer any of the questions, okay? So now we're going to hear from Danielle about a new initiative from our Broward Federation. See you later.
Hi, I'm Danielle Malky, and I feel lucky today to have the opportunity to share a special initiative that Jewish Federation of Broward is working on with an organization called SSEJ, Struggle to Save Ethiopian Jewry. This organization has been created to help provide meals, medical care, and Jewish education to Jewish Ethiopian babies under 5 years old who currently live in the refugee camp in Gondar, awaiting to make Aliyah to Israel. There is rampant acute malnutrition throughout the refugee camp, and many of the children are lacking the necessary diet for growth and brain development. They are unable to fight off sickness and viruses such as COVID-19 or malaria. For me, personally, this hits close to home because, believe it or not, I do know the fear a new mother might have, wondering if your baby or babies in my case will be okay. The shortened version of my story is this. I was pregnant with twins and closely followed all of the guidelines for a healthy, high-risk pregnancy. Even with some of the best medical care in the country, at 27 weeks, I was in the hospital threatening preterm labor on May 4th, 2014. And at 3:30 a.m., Anna and Julia were born 3 months early at 2.5 pounds each. Trust me when I tell you, for a new mom, seeing a 2.5 pound baby whisked away to the NICU is not a comforting sight or feeling. Thank God I was living here in the US with access to everything and anything my babies needed to thrive. This is simply not possible for the children at the refugee camp without our help. Our federation is the first one to step up, committing to raise $100,000. Hopefully our success and participation will encourage other federations around the country to join in this effort. The first 5 years of a child's development are of utmost importance. If these kids do not get the right nourishment, by the time they do make it to Israel, they'll fall behind their peers in development and school. And as we all know too well, that's how the cycle of poverty continues. Let's try to make a difference and give these children a fighting chance. 100% of the proceeds raised goes directly to these 1,000 children, nursing or pregnant mothers for food, clean water, medicine, and medical procedures, Hebrew and Jewish day school activities as well. There is a volunteer doctor on the grounds who does not take a salary, and the educational activities are run by teachers with salaries of less than $1 a month. I hope you will help me in my fundraising project to our Ethiopian brothers and sisters and their babies. We have the ability to make a real impact. Thank you. Now let's turn our attention to the screen to view a short video about SSEJ. Thank you. Now we will turn back to Iris in the kitchen.
Hi again. Okay, shoot with all of your questions. Come on, let me have them. There was one really very important question. What do I do if I do not want to shape the Rugelach today or bake them? Can I freeze the dough? Yes, absolutely you can. What I recommend you do is actually put it in a Ziploc bag. Put it in a Ziploc bag, put it in the freezer, and whenever you want to bake it, take it out of the freezer, let it get to room temperature, and then you can start shaping your Rugelach, letting them rise, bake, etc., etc. What are the other questions, Allison?
My dough isn't rising as big as yours.
Yes, your dough is not rising as big as mine because your dough did not have the time that mine did. Mine has been rising for about, I'd say, 2 hours. I prepared long before, and that's why it really rose a lot. If you let it rise more, it will rise to that and it will get to that size, right? To that size.
If we want to let the dough rise for a few hours, do we leave it on the counter or in the fridge?
Okay, you can let it rise out in room temperature, and you can let it rise in the refrigerator overnight, okay? But wherever you're letting the dough rise, it must be covered, okay? You do not want it to dry out and develop a crust. Yes? Nothing else? Okay, so I want to show you, this is the dough that I've made with you. And look, it's rising very, very nicely. It's not all there, but it's getting there. I want to show you another kind of an easy shape. It's this. It's this. It's the Rugelach. It's so easy. Okay? The first step is the exact same step. We're going to dust the surface, and it doesn't matter what surface you have. It does not have to be, marble countertop, not at all, but just something that is a flat surface. Okay, you're rolling out your dough. Okay, and you can turn it over if it's giving you a hard time. And like I said before, if you go on my blog, all the kitchen tools that I've been using, you have a link in the store to Amazon. Now, you're paying directly to Amazon. You're not paying me anything, but I just, went through the trouble of sharing all of the kitchen tools that I'm using because I always have questions. Where do I get it and what is it exactly? So you have it all there. Even the kitchen timer, rolling pin, spatulas, everything. It's all there. Okay, so I rolled it out to a square. And now I'm going to spread the dough with chocolate. And by the way, if you prefer cinnamon as opposed to chocolate, you mix cinnamon, sugar, butter or vegan butter, and you spread it over your dough. Okay.
If we don't have an egg wash, if we don't have an egg, is there a substitute for an egg wash?
They can spray with oil. If you don't want to have it, if you don't have an extra egg at home, For the egg wash, you can just spray with some oil or not. Okay, so here I spread my dough with chocolate and I'm going to close it just like I did before. Stretch it out a little, stretch it out. Okay, and look at this. I'm taking my rolling pin and just rolling it, making it thinner. Okay, thinner. And with my knife or pizza cutter, I'm just going to cut strips of about 1/2 inch. Strips. All you do is just cut strips. Okay, now I'm going to take 2 strips, one on top of the other. And look at that, look how simple it is. I'm going to twist. I twisted them. And then I'm going to twist it in. And here is my Rugelach. That's it. Put one on top of the other. Twist. And bring it in. Bring it in. Just like that, and you can put the end piece underneath. And that's it. One more. One on top of the other, twist, and bring it in, bring it in, bring it in, and then the edge put underneath. One more. Easy, right? Thumbs up if you think it's easy. Thumbs up. Oh, so many thumbs up. You guys are awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay, the edge underneath, and that goes into your baking pan. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to egg wash it. Okay, egg wash it and let it rise. Let it rise for 1/2 hour and up to 2 hours, and bake it in a preheated oven, 360 degrees Fahrenheit, for 20 minutes. 20 minutes. And that's it, you guys. They're ready to be enjoyed. Okay? Thank you, thank you, thank you all. And now to Donna.
Hi, everyone. I'm Donna Rosenberg. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you had fun baking and learning about why we support the work of the Jewish Federation of Broward. Please post pictures of your baked Rugelach and tag our federation. We hope you will consider supporting Struggle to Save Ethiopian Jewry with our fundraising goal of $100,000. For more information about this initiative or getting involved in our federation, please reach out to Allison O'Mara, our North Broward Director. Also, at the end of this video, you will see a QR code that you can scan with your camera in order to help support the struggle and help save the Ethiopian Jewry community. We thank you, and please enjoy the rest of your day.